Welcome to our first panel for Technicity West 2022. We're very excited. We have three great IT leaders with us today from Grand Prairie, Kelowna, and City of Burnaby. And we're going to be talking about intelligent cities in the post-pandemic world. So I'll let each one of you introduce yourselves. We'll start with you, Natalia.
Yes, of course. And thanks for having me. My name is Natalia Madden, and I work for the County of Grand Prairie, and we are located in northern Alberta.
My name is Jazz Pabla. I'm the Information Services Director here at the City of Kelowna.
My name is Bashar Kawaja. I'm the Chief Information Officer for the City of Burnaby.
Wonderful. So why don't we just start the conversation? Really interesting and interested to know what the three of you consider an intelligent city is.
I think a common definition of intelligent cities is making those decisions that are data-driven and really understanding what the citizen wants from a municipality and how are you delivering services in the most effective way.
Would anybody like to add to that?
Yeah, for sure. Intelligent cities are connected cities. They are cities that use data driven decision making in order to improve the lives of citizens through technology and use innovation as a way to plan the cities and make them more livable and more sustainable.
And what about features of a smart city?
Smart cities basically deploy the right technology across the city to, for example, sensors technology to and OIT devices to collect the right data to drive decision making through the analytics and the understanding of these data using AI and machine learning, another type of technology that's out there. That's really the main feature, but other features that are a result of that is better services to the citizens, more timely services to the citizens, and more transparency in how the city make decisions in order to change the city, improve the city, and make it more livable and more sustainable.
Can you give us some actual concrete examples on how that improves the services for the citizen?
And it depends on who you ask, right? What's your business or who do you belong? Where we have a smart governance, a smart economy, a smart environment, a smart people, a smart living, a smart mobile, right? So it can be adapted to everything. Public transportation, right? How we move around the municipality, or water and sewage, landfills, how we recycle. So there's a lot that we could probably stay here all day and argue, right? What would be the benefits for the resident of the smart city? There's a lot. It just depends which one we concentrate on, which one we apply to at the moment, right?
Yeah, I guess, from a citizen's point of view, someone would say, well, I don't understand the difference between a smart city and a normal city because I get all those services.
Let's just take a Canadian problem, especially in where it snows a lot, potholes, for example. And so let's just say if you're a city that doesn't use technology to understand your environment, your citizens are required to send in requests that they see potholes in their community and can you resolve them. I think cities where they're going towards and they're trying to be more intelligent is can we understand where the pothole is without the citizen putting in a request and actually, patch up that pothole. And I think that type of technology and that type of that predictive analytics on where things are going to fail or where things are failing, and then providing that service to the citizens without them thinking about it. I think that's where intelligent cities is going to go towards.
Is the smart technologies that you're implementing or using, are they available to all the citizens or it's just under very certain projects that you're looking to implement right now?
No, they're available to all cities, and it's never been easier to consume technology in the world we live in, and it's all readily available. It's just a willingness and understanding your business processes internally to see if there's an actual appetite to move forward, to go towards that way.
Interesting. You're in a pretty big city, Bashar. What's your view on this?
Technology is in everything we do today, and um, every ev- every project we do here at the city has a technology aspect to it. And whenever we are doing these projects, we're thinking about the end result. We're thinking about the service that we're providing and how these services, how our citizens will interact with these services. When we're looking, for example, to deploy a certain technology, we are trying to solve a certain problem. For example, we have a lot of garbage bins across the city, and instead of going to each garbage bin and trying to empty the garbage bin, we install sensors in these garbage bins. So, and we see that on a GIS map, and we see which bins are empty and which bins are full. And we use route optimization basically to get to those bins faster, clear them up, and move on. And so that saved us, for example, a lot of time and a lot of effort to make sure that these garbage bins are always in a good condition for our citizens to use.
I just want to say something before I lose the thought on. And these collaboration tools, the conferences, and this get together, I just wrote here on my notes sensors on garbage bins. Thank you so much. It's something, it's out there. And we just need to learn from each other on how to be smarter on our technology and on our things, right? It's so obvious sometimes. Some improvements, some small, some medium, some big, that we can make to improve how we do stuff first, right? How the municipalities are spending money and how we're spending human resources. And two, how the resident is going to benefit.
What about the digital divide in a smart community, where some people just can't afford the technology or the access that we assume most people have today?
Yeah, and I think when it comes to intelligent cities, that's one of the things. It's not just about using technology with those that might have access to technology. It's about providing city services to those individuals that, like you said, may not have access to a phone. And so, how do you provide information to those citizens as well? But the digital divide is real. You see it a lot in communities across Canada where the access to internet and the access to devices just isn't there. Um, and we can't forget about that when we're rolling out these solutions. And so it might be easy to say, well, 80% can use this. Well, we still have to worry about the 20% as well.
Right. What about in your region, Bashar and Burnaby? What's the situation there?
I mean, our city is always looking for opportunities to help and educate our residents, and we do that a lot in our libraries. We always have some initiative going on, and one of the things that we're trying to do today is to play a brokerage role and connect with the business community that we have in Burnaby. We have over 5,000 businesses here, and work with them. Plus, we have two large educational institutes, BCIT and SFU, and work with them really to find ways to educate our citizens and help our citizens with understanding technology, how to use technology, as well as make technology accessible.
It's we read a lot about smart city competitions around the world, and I know there's a lot of award programs out there that look at the different cities and what they're doing. Just curious, from all of your points of view, if you've seen a smart city framework that you consider successful, or you've applied or can apply it to your own region.
I was fortunate enough to be part of the Smart Cities Challenge with the federal government when I worked at the city of Saskatoon. And we got down to Ottawa and we were one of the finalists. And unfortunately, we didn't win. But it was such a experience to build an actual smart city solution. And we focused on Indigenous youth incarceration rates in Saskatoon. And when we were doing that project, it was quite clear that there wasn't really a framework out there that you could adopt to implement at a large scale. So I haven't seen one singular solution that kind of touches on all of them. I haven't really seen one where I've been able to apply successfully so far. And maybe it's because it's just not quite there yet, or that model's not mature, or maybe it's not available in Canada, but it's available in other parts of the world, and we're just not privy to that yet. And so I'd be excited to see something, but I haven't personally seen anything quite yet.
Go
I've
ahead.
seen a few good models for that, and one good example that I really like is the city of Mississauga. They do have a lot of information on their framework, but in this case, it's not one size fits all. I have yet to see a vendor, a consultant to come over and say, this is a really good model, and I think you should adopt it. It's just we're so different, all the municipalities within Canada, that it will be really hard to find one framework that you will adopt and say, this is what's going to work for us.
I take it, I mean, everybody has their procurement policies and, everybody has to follow them. But, when you're looking to partner or to collaborate with industries outside of, the municipal space or public sector partners, what are you looking for, and how do you go about that?
Some of the problems that we deal with aren't aligned to the solutions that are out in the market, or what people are trying to bring forward to us. And we have to prioritize our work as well. And I'm sure we would love everybody to be successful, but there's so many individuals that reach out that I can't even respond to because A, their services don't align to anything that we're trying to do. And B, there is an element in municipalities and in government in general where we have strict procurement processes in place as well. And so, yes, we can build relationships and understand what tech is available, but we still have to follow those procurement processes before we execute.
It is also the existing tools that we have. And we really need to take a step back and say, is there something that we already have that we can expand to solve this problem? And really look for existing ways that needs to be improved. Most of the times, a challenge is not solved by a new software. A challenge is solved by improving the process, the internal process. And then when you improve the internal process, you might realize, listen, the existing software is already a good tool.
So just thinking out of the box sometimes will do it rather than the investment in new technology. Bashar, any comments on that?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the first thought should be, what do we have today that we can make use of? And then how can we use it innovatively and intelligently to solve the problem that we have? But also, I build in a strong network of partners who understand the city business, who understand the city's vision long term, and you can work with them not on just one project. You can work with them as partner for a long period of time. Will help a lot in bringing the right technology and bringing the right level of technology and technology use to the city and its citizens.
Do you think because of COVID-19 and this elongated pandemic that just doesn't seem to go away, that having new types of infrastructure that one would say is smart technologies has really made a difference and has helped the economy?
What came out of the pandemic was the tech sector remained fine throughout the pandemic, and you saw tech innovation allow people to navigate and throughout their lives with technology. I think what it did was it opened the non-technical community's eyes to the possibility that tech can solve a lot of problems, and I think smart city solutions is just a byproduct of that. And I think you're going to see an acceleration from some of these large tech companies out there to put a lot of effort into government and local government because they see that the experience. One of the things someone told me is that the decisions that the federal and provincial government make land on the doorsteps of local governments to sort of execute. And I think big tech and other entrepreneurs are seeing that firsthand experience that you have is primarily with your local government. And I think you're going to start to see a lot of smart cities challenges, a lot of smart city solutions because the non-technical people saw the value of tech during the pandemic.
Very interesting. Any comments on that, Natalia or Bashar?
Yeah, I think, and you hear it a lot during COVID. Who led the digital transformation in your municipality? Well, COVID did, right? And now that we are still in, but we are out post pandemic, and then we look back and I'm sure the ones that implemented Microsoft 365 before COVID were glad to have teams already in place, to have OneDrive. The businesses, economy is super important, where we see businesses pivoting, right, to online services. The ones that had online shopping were the ones that were there, and the other ones had to implement super fast. We see groceries being delivered to your house. We see a lot that has to be with technology. And nowadays we talk about people that says I'm not techie or I don't use technology, but the truth is that we all do. We're all techies nowadays. If you have a smartphone, if you check your email, if you check the text with your kids, you get in your car, you activate your Bluetooth, you make an order with your grocery store there. So yeah, it has changed, and it has positioned technology in another level where we all have to be a techie.
Well, this has been really insightful. I guess what I'd love the three of you to leave the audience with is what's your top one or two gems when it comes to thinking about a smart city that others who are going to be starting the work or they're continuing to do the work should be aware of.
My passion is really about providing the best services that we can provide to our citizens and using technology to do that, and allowing the interaction with the city and with our citizens to become more seamless, and providing the best service that we can as we do that.
I think what the pandemic showed is that some municipalities across the world just weren't ready for City Hall to be shut down and have those services online. And I think it was a big wake up call for a lot of cities. And that online digital experience that is for everybody. So not just with those with the device, but how do you sort of make it accessible for everybody? And the one thing that every IT leader is thinking about is how you do it in a secure way so that you don't compromise your infrastructure at the same time as well. I've never been more hopeful for municipalities than I am right now because I'm starting to see a lot of solutions come forward that can actually make the experience for citizens better.
Well, that sounds really exciting. Natalia, you got the last word here.
Well, thank you. Size. There's no size for to be smart, and I always call it smart communities instead of smart cities, because you can be a smart county, a smart town, a smart hamlet. There's no restriction on size. You can be small, medium, big. It's just how you. Bottom line is how we provide the services to our residents on a better way, on a way that fits your community.
Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your experiences. It's as a citizen, it makes me very excited. I mean, I've been an urbanite all my life. I'm going to continue to be one. So thank you for all your hard work, and sounds very exciting, and look forward to the future.